Good evening, morning, afternoon, whenever you're watching this, everyone. Today is October 26th, 2021. This is Camden with Generation Z Podcast. I am here today to bring you, the news, not all of it good, but it is an interesting day of news. Start off from RT here. America's battle lines against Russia are being drawn in an icy Arctic. Stuck in the middle, Norway is now NATO's nuclear shield. Norway is hardly a major power player on the international stage, but with the Arctic theater increasingly playing a host to a standoff between the U.S. and Russia, the Scandinavian nation has become America's newest front line. I kind of see this article, remember this is from RT, Russia Today, as kind of predictive programming, normalizing of some kind of hot war that they really would love to break out between these two places. We know that if it's normalized, then it's not unexpected when it happens, right? So they would love for it to be that way. I don't think that it will. I don't think that people are falling for this kind of thing anymore. But that will never stop them from pushing at it. Here from BBC, the reconciliation bill is almost there after Manchin demands to scale it back. Don't let perfect be the enemy of the historic. That is just a hilarious line there. The FDA advisors weigh benefits and risks of COVID vaccines to young children. They package containing a mysterious substance was left at the office of Illinois this afternoon with an ominous message reading, "The patriarchy will rise again. Merry fucking Christmas." The patriarchy will rise again. I mean, people... Who does this? What kind of people? The CIA would do it to get a news story out. I mean, to blame us. Today so far, the advisory panel for the Food and Drug Administration recommended the lower dose of Pfizer vaccines to children ages 5 to 11. They're kind of walking back their own regulations, which is an interesting play. They don't seem to think that these things need to be out there the way that they started to. Or maybe they just know that they've been caught and they can't continue to demand things as unsafe as child vaccination. People aren't standing for it. Democrats are almost there in the negotiations over the reconciliation package. Biden hopes to get the deal done before leaving for Europe on Thursday. Progressive lawmakers are voicing concerns about expected cuts in the reconciliation bill. And this started as a bill that was 2,300, maybe 23,000 pages. No one's gotten to read it from the public. As much as they're cutting out, what are they adding in? What are they leaving? What are they slipping in? The tactic seems to have been ask for so much more than you actually want so that when you do your compromises and meet in the middle, you get close to what you were okay with to begin with. Still, no one is getting any approval from the constituency on any of this, okay? TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube defend how they protect kids online in a congressional hearing. Social media sites popular with teens and young adults faced a barrage of questions and accusations Tuesday from lawmakers who want companies to do more to protect children online. I'm with this. I agree with this. Because, people from Twitter and Facebook being in front of Congress 30 times, Twitter in front of them 18. This is the first time TikTok, Snapchat, or YouTube have ever been in front of Congress. So it's good that they're at least asking these questions to these people because, I don't have TikTok, but of course that's where these things come from. I don't know how many times I've been on Instagram and had to put a not interested like button on there to kind of at least curate algorithms somehow, because they love to put just a kid doing some other TikTok trend that they don't know. There's an education of this missing, because we need to let these kids know that doing whatever trend doesn't make the people in your real world like you any more or any less. It's a delusion of validation, I guess is my best way to say it. And I just think, they love to wrap things in, safety of the kids, but this seems to actually really be concern for safety of children here. Sudan's toppled PM taken back home, military sources say. Dave covered this yesterday, but now today, even it seems Sudan's Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok has been taken back to his own home in the Sudanese capital, which is good, which is progress. This is not necessarily the way I thought that this coup would go, but it is. These are the leaders that you would suppose the people want in power, not military tyrants, and so it's good to see that maybe he begins to lead the country again and actually lead it. Sources say the health minister Al Jazeera that 7 people were killed on Monday. Military also cut off access to the internet and closed some roads. So progress without progress. A concern came from China and Russia. Strong words coming from the United States. Strong words. But what are we going to do about it? I don't know that we need to get involved with actual military presence here, but it is concerning for the people, From Revolver here, Ray Epps, the Fed-protected provocateur who appeared to have led the very first January 6th incident on the U.S. Capitol. Ray Epps instructing protesters to enter the U.S. Capitol on January 5th, later shepherded them in on January 6th. His story is so strange and so scandalous at every turn that it threatens to shatter the entire office narrative of Capitol breach and expose yet another dimension of proactive federal involvement. Because it does seem this man has been protected by the Fed, has been let to commit these actions that point blank, still are illegal. They are. And to push people to commit illegal acts so you can then arrest them when this guy certainly hasn't been even touched, even though we know where he lives, we know where he is, it is concerning. January 6th appears to have led the breach team that committed the very first illegal acts on the fateful day. Epps and his breach team did all the dirty work within 10 minutes, still remaining in President Trump's National Mall speech. So, Trump not telling people to do anything, this man starting it before anyone even could, It's just so frustrating that as more and more of evidence comes out that they wanted this to happen. They wanted to have reason to. They wanted to rile people up to make them commit the acts so they could then have justifiable legal action to take. Europol busts darknet vendors, 150 high-value arrests. International investigators arrested 150 people in a coordinated campaign of organized crime on the darknet. 26 million euros has been confiscated, 234 kilograms of drugs, 45 firearms. Some of the suspects are classified as high-level targets. 65 suspects arrested in the U.S., 47 in Germany, 24 in the U.K. They shut down lots of these markets, but you have to wonder if only a couple high-value people are being arrested, as they quote here. Aren't those sellers just going elsewhere? And if only some are high-value targets, are the other people they're arresting just buyers? I mean, those people aren't, yes, they're committing illegal acts, but those people aren't the problem, you know? Putting criminals operating the dark web on notice that the law enforcement community has means in the global partnership to unmask them and hold them accountable. Okay, let's see more of it. Brazil. Senators asked High Court to ban President Bolsonaro from social media after bogus claims that COVID shots are linked to AIDS. I mean, he did verifiably put on Facebook. He put on Facebook that Britons who had been given 2 COVID-19 shots were developing AIDS faster than expected. That's where maybe I have a problem here. So did he expect it still? I mean, this is a man, yes, he is the leader of the country. Yes. But he's saying certifiable kind of facts the wrong way that gives justification to do this. A lot of the things that Trump did, he wasn't being wrong. He was just saying things the wrong way. And I hate to feel like he's falling for this trap that they absolutely want him to. The U.S. revokes license of top Chinese telecoms company. Washington has revoked the U.S. license of China Telecom, saying that it has opportunity to access, store, disrupt, and misroute U.S. communications to engage in espionage and other harmful activities against the U.S. This is a Chinese company, but that's not to say that, Microsoft's server bank is in China. So that's an American company. We're okay with them just because it's an American company and you can kind of hide it between layers. This is maybe placating to make us feel good, but it's not going to stop any spying actually, right? We will take back the gold, then Crimea. Ukrainian president threatens after Dutch court hands haul of ancient artifacts to Kyiv. So basically, Court of Appeals presiding judge ruled that the hoard of Scythian gold currently on display at the Allard Pearson Museum in Amsterdam should be given to Kyiv. Their Crimean treasures handed to the Ukrainian state. You kind of, it's like the Smithsonian giving back their museum artifacts to people that they actually belong to, which I would love to see. That's a good thing, right? But what does this spark? This is a region of the world that's gotten into fights over license plates recently, right? I don't know where it goes from here. Why spark a controversy here? I don't know. Lebanese urge to end campaign against Beirut blast judge. Rights group, lawyers, journalists call for honest reporting on the deadly Beirut port explosion. Investigation in the media. Beirut blast probe by undermining facts, accusing officials on Tuesday of leaking misinformation and intervening in the justice system. It does seem that this is what the establishment in Lebanon is doing, right? From making changes in judges to dragging it out as long as they have. I'd like to see that the people are actually out in the streets asking for fairness and asking for justice in real ways. Here, China locks down a city of 4 million people after 6 COVID cases detected. Residents told not to leave home except in emergencies. Beijing imposed stricter border controls this week after COVID-19 was first detected in China in late 2019. Bus and taxi service has already been suspended in the city. The state media said on Tuesday Langzhou Station has suspended more than 70 trains. This is their COVID map. It looks like they're doing okay. This zero case policy. I get how it can work. But if they were already on lockdowns, if they were already on tighter restrictions, these cases haven't stopped. We can point back to what kind of tests they're doing. PCR tests, not entirely the the most honest, we'll say. So does this just help the narrative and agenda be pushed? Officials say cyber attack crippled gas stations across Iran. Fuel sales were disrupted at gas stations across Iran Tuesday after what officials said a cyber attack crippled a system that allows consumers to buy subsidized fuel using government-issued cards. Yikes. Disruption in an intelligent fuel system caused the fuel cards in the system not to be identified. The cyber attack, which technical experts are solving. I've been attending gas stations that can't sell gas, even at free market price. So you can't even buy it to buy it, not without these cards. I'm seeing more and more and more, even in the town that I live in here, bags over the pumps. Sorry, we don't have gas. Systematic panic mongering. I don't know. I'm not having to drive a whole lot anymore, I'll say that much, so it's not hit me the same way that it might have had other people. But it seems very systematic. Canadian Prime Minister Justin I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. Trudeau. I was about to call him his social media name. Holds cabinet shuffle. It comes after Mr. Trudeau's Liberals won a minority government in last month's snap federal election. 38 cabinet members sworn in Tuesday. Fewer than 10 remain in their prior roles. Part of the shuffle, Canada will see new defense ministers. The military faces sexual misconduct crisis. Whatever. I mean, is this just trying to, spin a positive media day, spin a positive news cycle for him when he has very little positive outlook left? Trudeau has said addressing climate change is a majority priority, and Mr. Guilbeault will help lead Canada's contribution at the UN Climate Change Summit in Glasgow this month. That's COP26. We have reported on that. Has named his 5th foreign affairs minister since his Liberals first took power in 2015. That shuffling, why? People shitted on Trump for firing anyone at seeming whim, but Trudeau's done a lot of it himself, and it doesn't seem to be maligned the same way, right? Not a life. Israel keeps many Palestinians without legal status. Not on the Israeli people, but on the Israeli regime. A thick cloud of frustration, sadness, anger hung over dozens of undocumented Palestinians who rushed to the Ministry of Civil Affairs in Ramallah last week after hearing Israel had approved requests to grant legal status. Israeli Army's administrative body in the occupied West Bank, as well as other Israeli officials, announced that they would be issuing 4,000 approvals for family reunification. Why cap it at 4,000? Why not actually just reunify fucking families? I don't know. But it has left many people waiting, wondering, and scared. And that's wrong. Point blank, that is wrong. Interesting to wrap up the news here. Many of you will know the puppy story that is calling for a fire Fauci. I just wanted to scroll through. Most of them are the exact same way, but the animals section on the Washington Post here, scrolling. I don't see anything about any puppies. This has been for 2 days now. I'm glad that a Florida man wrangled an alligator his own way. A man awoke to a bat on his neck and declined a vaccine. Weeks later, he died of rabies. Oh, no. Fans of American flag save cats. Oh, gorillas. Oh, alligator. Oh, sickness blinding birds. I see no goddamn puppy story. So just kind of pointing out that, these medias, the things that I've read today, they're reporting on these things because it fits for them. Let's remember. So even while I report from them, keep in mind that I realize that the things that I'm reading to you and reporting on fit their narrative and story, okay? So we have to wonder why they fit in with what they want to happen, and be careful of it. The point is maybe to elicit an emotional reaction out of you, to get you fired up, to get you mad, to then go do something about it, when that doesn't really, that only gives justifiable reason, like January 6th, for them to take legal action against you, right? And in conclusion, this Let's Go Brandon rap songs is hitting the top spots on iTunes. I call it an anti-Biden, I don't know, but multiple shots at Biden regarding his chaotic Afghanistan withdrawal, cognitive ability of handling of the coronavirus, features Tyson James and Chandler Crump. I mean, it's kind of funny. It's funny that it's hitting top charts because iTunes, as much as iTunes and Apple deletes it, they can't stop the numbers. They can't stop the overwhelming sensationalness of this song. I mean, another song titled Let's Go Brandon by Loris Alexander is number 3 on iTunes on Monday. Produced 2 separate songs that both currently more popular than anything the Apple Music service has to offer, with the exception to Adele, because she's got a beautiful voice and there's no way she's not going to be at the top. But it shows real Americans' real attitudes that doesn't line up with all the rest of some of this, right? It doesn't line up with the reconciliation bill. The patriarchy will rise again. No. They're mad at the current empowered people. They're not mad that they're not in power. You know? I mean, it just... The people will be the people, and the people will make their opinions and voices and ideals known through sheer will. It will not count on these mainstream media sites telling us how we should feel. And with that, I bid all of you a good day. We will see myself and Dave back on here hopefully as soon as tomorrow. And Dave, if you're watching this, wishing you well, thinking of you, bye.